Good evening, gamers, and welcome to HBF Season 10 Abyssal Power Rankings. I originally thought this was going to have considerably fewer people on the mic than we actually have. So, yeah, we start out with myself, S, and my co-hosts.
Hi, it's Necro. I made all these PowerPoints again, so you're welcome, everyone.
Rage is also here, who forgot that the order we're going in. So
Yes.
say hi, Rage.
Oh, sorry. I didn't realize we were going in slide order, but hi. Yeah, it's Rage. I'm here to roast all of you, even though I know fucking nothing about the format.
Also known as Rage is the guy in the prep server who's also here and wanted to tag along, so we have him along for the ride. Anyway.
I'm here. I run the league. Please note the comment. Y'all are one grace period away from just us being 3 divisions next season.
What is your name?
Oh, it's Blinn.
Very cool.
Yeah, I have one of those.
Let's just make sure that people understand the general gist of the voice. And then our fifth host, who showed up 5 minutes ago.
Hi, I'm Paul. My D&D session just ended. Anyway, I'm sorry for what's about to happen. Y'all are gonna... Don't take it personal, okay?
Palm, if you were sorry, you wouldn't be on this call.
I mean, Palm,
That's
I think
true.
the people at home have questions about that D&D session now that you've mentioned it. So why don't you describe your character for us?
No, Blinn, this is already going to take us 2 hours. No.
Okay, to make the very long story short, I'm a GM, and my players basically just infiltrated my world's equivalent of bossing Say. That is all you need to know. Moving on.
All right. So,
All right, shall we?
welcome to our Rower Pankings. A couple disclaimers before we hop in. None of this is meant to be an actual personal attack. Our criticisms don't actually mean anything. Feel free to pay as much or as little attention to them as you like. We're probably going to have a number of things that we just miss that you didn't miss when making your team, assuming you... I'm not going to finish that sentence. All comments are not personal in nature. These are entirely our opinions. This is all just for fun. This is not legal advice. You should contact your lawyer, yada, yada, yada. A whole bunch of disclaimers.
Unless the advice is for me, then listen, you noobs.
I mean... maybe not.
Yeah.
Long story short, all of the usual YouTuber disclaimers.
Yes.
Indeed.
All of the usual Rower Panking disclaimers. And also, we're going to be talking about these teams in draft order rather than in tier list order. We're going to tier them later. We have a tier list for this. Thank you, Necrowolf, for being the admin that does all the work.
Yes.
And
Here,
let's just...
I will give the people a quick glimpse of what it's going to look like. So,
yes.
To
So
preview our tiers, we have Going to Hell, which is promoting to Infernal. And then we have more normal things. We have Shoo-in for playoffs, might make playoffs, won't make playoffs, might win a game, and then the very special category, since you are bottom div, Div 5.
which is the case for relegation in American sports. And this is why we have relegation in European sports.
What about instead of calling it Div 5, you just call it Goodbye?
Get out. Just get the fuck out now.
Just call it Goodbye.
It's... sure.
Okay, we are changing it to Goodbye.
Goodbye works.
To be clear, it's a joke.
Yes, this is all just a bunch of jokes. We're just a bunch of nerds on the internet screwing around. Goodbye /J, you know?
Goodbye /J, yeah.
That's what these people think.
Yeah.
Sure, I'll make
okay, well, Blinn is the mean one, so...
Okay, there we go. So,
all right. So let's go on to Team 1. This is already going to take us 2 hours. Peter Holmes and the Ghostly Gardevoir. Who would like to take us off with this one?
Holy shit, round 1 first overall Delta Mine. So fucking original.
Let's go!
I'm making the face from the stock image.
That is a good decision.
Palm, just let me jump in. That's a good pick, and we need to celebrate that now, because I've seen the rest of these rosters. It's going to be a while before we get another one.
I mean, there was a round 2 Melmetal on this one. It can't be that bad.
This is just so much mid. Round 3 Gliscor, Terra Tentacruel, Rotom Mow. Like, there are like 4 good mons on this team. Melmetal's kind of good, but it's way too early. Mime is good. Frostlass is probably the only mon picked at an appropriate time, and you got a late Sceptile, which is kind of good.
Also, this is
It's
Melmetal
just
without a
mid.
huge Trick Room mode, because you have options with Mesprit, but that's really about it.
I mean, Melmetal
I mean-
plus Trick Rock Mesprit is kind of just all
That's
you
a
need.
pretty good Trick Room setter. Like, it has
Yeah.
good bulk. It's not as good as Yuxi, but it's pretty solid.
It's
But the other
solid,
thing
yeah.
with Mesprit is you actually run speed investment, and then you U-turn after you click Trick Room, so that you slow U-turn into Melmetal. And then you
Yeah,
get
no,
like
like,
6 turns.
Mesprit works, I think.
Yeah, I think
Fine, yeah.
Mesprit is cool.
Fair enough. It could be worse. Hence why this team.
It's
Hence why
going
the-
to get worse.
Hence why this team
Yeah.
wins the best worst Mon award.
Yes,
Yeah. Actually, yeah, I think that's fair.
because the average point cost of this team is like 12.
Well, the average
Like,
point
to be
cost of
honest-
any 9-mon team is going to be the same because of how budgets
Well,
work.
yeah, okay, but like,
Yes.
okay, the standard deviation of this team.
Yes, the
It's
standard
pretty low.
deviation of this team is low.
For a 9-mon team in a bottom division, I think
It's-
it's alright.
It could be worse.
It could
It's-
certainly
a-
be worse.
And it's about to
Alright.
get worse.
Oh my god.
It's
So
really
should we
good.
talk about... I think we're talking about the mods. Let's look at this type chart, shall we?
Sure.
I mean, ground types are not fun for you, but you also somehow have 3 immunities to ground, so I don't know how that works,
It's
but it does,
Gliscor, Mesprit, and Rotom. Mo.
And Rotom.
To be fair, those are 3 really good
Like
immunities.
Hollow.
So
2.5.
Yeah.
So, yeah, they're
And-
pretty good.
Both of your waters being ground weak until they Terra out of it is kind of weird, admittedly.
Yeah.
It's fine, I think.
Alright, because they're also rarely going to come to a game together, I don't think.
True.
Shall we tier it then?
Yes, let's tier this team.
Yeah,
I
I
okay.
think this is... Honestly, this is a might make playoffs, I think.
would agree. I think it's a might make.
I would say
I
it's
don't-
at least that, yeah.
I think it's
I
a
don't think
might
we're...
make, but
to
it
be
might
honest-
go up to...
I don't think we're going to have anyone in the going to health tier.
Okay,
Just-
well, we'll
just-
see when we get there. What I will say is I think this is a might make right now, depending on how the rest of it is. It might go up to shoe in, depending on how bad the rest
Depending
is.
on
We'll see.
the quality of the rest of the teams. That's fair. That's very fair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
You could
Alright.
do far worse than this. This is perfectly alright.
It's reasonable. Alright, moving on.
Alright. Why is that a pick 2 Iron Valiant?
So someone joined an Insurgents League where there are 2 very, very, very broken
Oh,
mons that are almost bannable but not. One of them gets taken pick 1, and instead you pick the Iron Valiant.
Yeah.
I'm
From the
confused.
angle of if this is a newer player, like 2 Insurgents, I can kind of get it. Of
I
like,
think-
oh, I'll go with something familiar. That doesn't mean it's good,
No.
but I can see the logic behind it.
No. It's... Yeah. Also, we had like 2.5 good picks. Like, Valiant, Haxor... Like, Valiant should never been taken first of like, second overall. But Haxorus is a good pick. Gardevoir is okay, but it's way too early here. And then we tried to draft Stall.
I do have to add Terra Lokix is really good. It's probably one of the better Terras that we allowed, but like, yeah, the middle is just kind of fucked up. Like, it's not
Yeah,
good.
why... That middle row plus Tentacruel is just Stall. And then we even drafted the, like, was it Gen 6 Stormon Espeon, which is Magic Bounce to stop hazards. It's just... Yeah.
It feels
don't
weird
get
to me to see a Mega Delta Guard without Sticky Web.
Yeah, it's just... I mean, if you look at the speed tiers for the rest of the division, there is actually 2 teams where Guard would outspeed everything.
It's actually one of
This
the
is
better
true.
speed tiers in the entire division, which is insanely sad.
Yeah. It's
Oh.
really sad.
Also, Iron Valiant has no friend. This team didn't even pick up Pincurchin.
Yeah. It just feels weird.
It's not a great team, unfortunately.
Yeah.
It's a bit mid.
I am partial to Skarmory, but Slowking, Skarmory, and Donphan all fit on kind of very different styles of what you're going for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really, for me, I think one of the bigger problems with this team is its lack of like momentum to actually get in, like Valiant
It's
And
basically
Hazard.
just the X U-turn and the guard volt
and
switch.
Slow King. That's
Slow
like
King.
literally it.
Slow King
It
has
does
to come
too.
to every game, and your game plan
Yeah.
is going to be bring the low kicks, bring the Haxorus, bring the Valiant, and maybe bring the guard. And you're going to click Chili Reception and go into one of those and hope to win the game.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
That's what we got.
I think Donphan effectively functions as like just a bot to click stealth rocks and die, which is not a great use of a Donphan, unfortunately.
Considering
that's
that
kinda
there's
what-
already a Skarmory right next to it that does the same thing,
Yes,
but
exactly.
also has Bruce.
Yeah, Skarmory
exactly.
doesn't do as much of dying, but it also does more spiking than rocking.
I
Also fair.
I do feel like if they could find a way to get like, just, I guess maybe like a Swampert on this team, something to just click flip turn and kind of add to the pivoting of this team would be better. But the fact that they just have 3 mons that just sit there and do basically nothing is just going to make this team incredibly difficult to pilot.
Oh, this is a roster of checking boxes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
This is a very
Honestly,
standard
yeah.
bottom div team where it's like, hey, I have to get 1/1 of every type. Hey, I have to get this much removal. Hey, I have to get this many special attackers. And hey, I have to get a speed tier. And forgetting to draft just good mons.
One day, you will learn the light of just drafting buttons.
Yeah.
And your life will get much simpler, and
Praise
you'll
button.
be the type of the nirvana of Pokemon is when you can be like Freeze-Eye and say, yes, I will click Crabhammer 5 times in a row while my opponent has a living Gastrodon, and then win the game anyway. That is
Alternatively,
You just click.
you can
just
join
click
the school of
button.
S, and
No.
let me teach you Chonk.
No, because look at your
Alright.
team this season.
I
Not even you use
Glitch
them.
are like Glitch
Oh, yeah.
are like yin and yang. Like
Oh, ow! That is a fire type weakness.
that is certainly
is-
a fire type weakness, and I don't remember who your immunity is, but I think of the immunity is Hisuian Growlithe.
Yes.
Yeah.
who's the
So,
resist? Like the resist is
okay.
also Hisuian Growlithe, I think.
No, the
No,
resist
it's
is Slow
Slow
King.
King.
Oh, it's
Yeah.
just Slogan, yeah.
It's a pretty good one, but it's not good enough to be the only one.
Yeah.
Especially not when you have Mega Delta Guard Skarmory.
Yeah.
Yeah. When your team is this weak to fire, it's a
You
bit
kinda
of
want some
yikes.
help.
So,
Anyway,
If
let's cheer
someone-
this team.
Honestly, if someone drafted Stealth Coals, this team's kind of fucked.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like,
Very, very true.
And normally, like, it's a guarantee that someone has drafted it, but this is Abyssal. So
I
who
think
knows?
someone
Anyway,
did
let's
draft
rank
it.
this team.
I do think
Okay.
someone has it, but yes, let's rank it.
I think it's not. I think
This
there's
is
worth
won't
picking
win.
up.
I think this is won't make playoffs.
I would agree. I
that's reasonable.
think there's worse
It's
teams
got
to come.
enough
Like it does come
individual
good
good
stuff, but it's
mons,
definitely
yeah.
bad.
it's just very incohesive.
It has its bases covered to the point where it can't be might win a game, but it doesn't have many of its bases covered well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just because your
I-
bases are covered doesn't mean that you're gonna get a run on the next hit.
Yeah,
Yes.
exactly. Hey, let's.
Let's move on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Moving on to one of
Hey,
my
Al.
favorite jokes, the huge nerd no logo rip this kid sign.
Yes.
And the beneficiary of the previous team's choking of Mega Milotic, who then
Yeah.
went right around and didn't draft any power.
So as
speaking
I've
of-
said here, the best thing about Mega Milo is that it is your entire defensive core. You get a decent steel type and a half decent ground type, and you're set. And this team has those. So what you do with the rest of those picks is you just draft buttons and you become this egregious HO team that you can't beat. And they did none of that.
I honestly think the best way of saying it is it'll be very, very difficult to beat this team, but this team will not beat you. And that is a very, very weird place to be because it'll just make every game take way too long or make you have to skill gap people, and that's just not the place you want to be consistently.
I feel like it's really the only actual win con this team has is like Sword Stance Trailblaze Archipon. Like that's the only thing that can actually like win a game here. Or
Well, I
end a
mean,
game,
yeah.
rather.
Or some kind of
I
Nihilego
mean-
thing.
Or like bulk up Sarah
Yeah.
or something.
You
Bulk
don't
up
need
Sarah,
a setup threat
Meteor
to win,
Beam,
but this
Elio.
team doesn't have the kind of immediate power where it can afford to bludgeon a big tanky roster. Granted, this is bottom div, and big tanky rosters kind of don't exist, so you might be okay. Also,
I feel like
shameless
the
plug,
thing is-
for everyone struggling to beat this team, watch my video on Mega Milotic. Anyway, continue.
Well,
Like this team just doesn't kill anything unless you hit a setup button or your opponent chokes.
Remind me, does Delta Kabutops even have U-turn? I don't think
No.
it does.
it is not. Someone
And it
did
got
the
taken-
Delta analysis, SMH.
And it got taken as a Terra Captain in round 6.
That is honestly an awful mon.
It's
Like, there is a
Wow.
reason where it doesn't get drafted, and it is almost like getting dropped like 2 points at this point.
If it had U-turn, it would be a lot better, but it doesn't
Yeah.
have U-turn.
Yeah.
And that's the huge weakness of Kabutops is that it doesn't have U-turn. Well, that, and it also doesn't have priority. It doesn't have Fimp or Sucker. So, like, those are
Yeah.
really big drawbacks.
It's an extremely sad place to be when your fourth best offensive threat is set up Corviknight. Like,
Yeah.
it's not great.
I mean, in fairness, so far this division doesn't have very many good power trip switch-ins, so
Yeah?
TBH.
Let's look at the chart.
A surprisingly
Yes, let's look
okay
at the
type
chart.
chart, as a great many Mega Milotic teams possess.
I was gonna say, like, this looks fine.
It is fine. I have nothing to
It's-
say about this.
It's fine. This is a fine team.
Pretty hard to
Uh,
mess with when you have a Corviknight and a Mega Milotic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
Alright.
we can just...
I think this should be like top of might.
I can see it, yeah.
Of might make playoffs.
Yeah.
Just because it does have a Mega Milotic, and there are
Yeah.
some good mons.
And-
like, it can
and it
win
is hard to
games.
kill. Yeah, so this game can win. This team can win worse of attrition, but like
Yeah.
if you get turns wrong, it's gonna get really bad really fast.
This team just doesn't look fun to use, to be honest.
No.
Like,
Oh, it's not bad.
Every single game is going to be 70 turns, and that is just not a place that any person in this call except maybe S wants to be.
Oh, I would love
Oh,
a
I
70 turn
love
game.
that.
I
Yeah.
would
Yes.
love a 140 turn game. That
I
sounds
was gonna say, I just
awesome.
want triple digit games.
Yeah.
okay,
Shut up.
well,
Shut up,
you're
S. Hey, let's
you,
move on.
and we're
Okay.
not, so...
Let's move on before S like has a fever dream about a long game. Oh, this team.
I
Yeah,
see
round-
7 good Pokemon and a Thwacky, and why is your 9th slot not synthesized into one Pokemon? This does not need to be spread across 3 bodies. Just make it one good Pokemon.
Why did you
Um,
draft a Thwacky when you're Megadon fan?
Yeah,
But
that's
the
just
Terra
like,
Halucha's silly.
yeah. But,
Why did you
like,
draft... Okay, let me rephrase. Why did you draft a Thwacky when, at this point, I don't think there was... I think the Pincurchin didn't go at all. Like that could have
But
been
people
there.
think,
Would've also
but people
supported
think
Bundle.
Thwacky is good because it gives you recovery.
Oh, no, here's the
Thwacky, I
thing.
think,
I
is a
respect Thwacky. I respect
Yeah.
Thwacky. I don't respect
when
Thwacky Megadon fan. Actually, wait. I'm
Also,
gonna go
can we
check
just
the
talk
document.
about the fact that there's an iron bundle here that would appreciate that Pincurchin as well?
True.
It's like
No,
it
what I'm checking-
deliberately gone out of the way to
What I'm
draft
checking
a
is,
terrain.
the Pincurchin is undrafted in this division. I just double checked.
I believe it's undrafted
Yeah.
in every division. Is that correct?
Yeah.
I think that is correct. Yeah, I don't think I've seen it on any of the rosters.
Please just get
So-
Pincurchin.
Let's talk about the anti-synergy with this team. We have 3 really good cleaners in Arcanine, Bundle, and Holucha.
Yes.
And we don't have a single breaker on this team. Donphan has to be the breaker, and Donphan's just not a good mon.
I mean, Megadon fan is the good breaker, but it's not
It's-
good as your only breaker.
Problem
Yeah.
is, it's not fast enough to be a consistent breaker.
This team, Delta Regirock is a really good mon, and as long as you get water resist, a ground resist, and a rock resist. The water resist because I'm not counting Bundle or Arcan. Well, I'm not counting Arcanine because you don't want to get skull burned. Is Bundle, which has like 14 SpDef, or Thwacky?
The ground resist is
ground
also
resist
Thwacky.
Is Thwacky?
Actually, this team has a water immunity smile.
No, it doesn't.
It has the...
I'm pretty sure Dragonair
far-
gets
as
water
far as-
absorb.
No,
doesn't
it gets Volt
Well,
Absorb.
no, yeah, it's Volt Absorb.
Oh, I am dumb.
So this team had to draft Thwacky to pair with the Registeel, which means you have to bring Thwacky over one of your top 7 every time you face like any sort of ground type, which means you now have anti-synergy with Donphan because it can't click its strongest stab. Like, I
High
don't
horsepower is still reasonable, though. So it's not
get it.
the
Yeah,
worst
but you miss.
And then
You
you
miss.
thing. 5%
Yeah.
of the time.
5% of
It's
the
not
time.
100%, it's 50%.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
50%. You either hit or you don't.
Fair enough.
There was a game once where I had a high horsepower crocodile versus an Entei. I missed high horsepower, and then a Sacred Fire burnt my crocodile.
Yep, that's standard.
I,
But you know, if you were controlling that Entei, you would miss the Sacred Fire and then get crit by the high horsepower.
That's right.
Yeah.
I
Um.
also do sort of get the feeling that the bottom div sort of takes Mew with the whole Mew can do anything mentality and tries to make it do everything, not realizing they can only bring one set to every game.
Oh yeah, this is like
Or they just think it's cosmic power and that's the entire mon.
Yeah.
yeah. This Mew is like going to have to do everything.
It
Mew,
has the sense that
Registeel,
it has to run
Sylveon.
every game, which is just
Yeah.
not where you want to be.
Also, this team has no momentum. Like, how do you get the dog in?
Thwacky.
Flip turn bundle. Flip turn bundle.
Yeah, but Bundle's one of
Sylveon?
the things you want to get in.
Baton
Yeah,
Pass
exactly.
Sylveon. Let's go with Baton Pass Sylveon.
Oh, flip turn Delta Dragonair, actually.
Yo!
Okay, let's go to the
Bro.
type chart because I need to roast this team more.
True.
How are
Holy
you that
ice.
weak to ice?
Holy ice weakness.
Well, it's 4 and 4, but two of those ice resistances are Delta Luxray and Delta Dragonair,
Yeah, 2 of them are very fake.
and one of them
Yeah,
is
some are
the
fake.
obligatorily must-bring Thwacky.
Personally, I say fuck that. I'm more concerned about the fact that their only ghost switch in is the mon that they don't want to be hitting the field until the end of the game.
Oh,
Yeah.
true.
I
That
don't-
actually is a
yeah, it
far
seems
bigger
really-
issue.
And you have
Yeah.
a Mew, so
Yeah,
Yeah, so-
that's not great.
I don't
So,
think it's allowed, but this team gets like brutally murdered by the horse. I don't think it's allowed, but it would get brutally
No,
The
murdered.
horse is not allowed.
Yeah.
well,
So that one.
okay.
So if you want to beat this team, if you're like hot tip to anyone watching, and if you're Evan's opponent, and you need to beat this team, just pick up Gengar.
Just click
Just pick
Shadow
up
Ball.
Gengar. Put a choice specs on it and click Shadow Ball.
Yep.
There is literally
so,
nothing they can do.
Clicking Sludge Wave is just better in that instance because they run out of resistances really fast. But yeah, it's still just any good ghost with coverage.
True.
Yeah.
If you lock into Spec
Uh,
Shadow Ball, then Arcanine comes in and Swords Dances for free.
Yeah.
Okay. You know the rules, and so do I.
Yeah.
Say you
Really?
might.
I set you up in everything. I set you up in everything.
Never gonna
Fuck
give
you.
you
Either
up.
feels like
Never
my
gonna win again.
I do think this is goodbye. I think the sheer
Nah,
amount
this-
of anti-synergy on this team is like
You haven't seen what's to come. You have not seen what's to come.
You know what? I'll
This
give
has
that.
to be
I'll give
mine.
that. I'll give that.
Palm,
We can
Someone-
someone,
readjust
there's
at
still
the
a
end
halluc-
if necessary.
Also, there is a Terra Hall Lucha in bottom division.
Yeah.
So
also,
Yeah,
someone
Luca
basically
is going
sold
to
their
win
social
games by
security
itself.
number in this division, so we'll get to that.
Anyway, let's keep going.
Let's move on.
'Cause,
Yes.
Yeah, this is gonna take a while.
Okay.
This is the team. I need to start here, and I need to go on a rant. Your
Okay.
entire speed tier cannot be Excadrill because there are like 15 weather teams in this div. So not only have you drafted no speed, with 88 being your highest, you've got no webs, no trick room mode. You
There's
just
a Delta
explode to water types. I don't care. That mon doesn't exist. For some reason, you wasted a Terra slot on it. Like, there's a whole Driftblim right there, bro. If your opponent gets one predict right on the Goodra, you die to a bubble. Like, oh,
This
yeah.
is a team. This is a sand team with a Gale Wings mon on it.
Yeah.
I didn't even notice that.
Yep.
Oh, yeah, that
There
there
is-
also is that aspect, yeah.
The
It's
only
okay, they're just
saving
gonna
grace
take
the only saving grace that this team has is there's a choice band ruin gross every week. And
True.
Eb, if you are listening to this, if you ever scarf or just like try and assault vest or like set up your ruin gross, I will slap you through this screen. Because you need to choice band this ruin gross every week. You need to use Clefable's teleport to get it in, and then you have to try and kill things. And if you repeat that 6 times, you might win a game.
And then they
Brutal.
can click the banded rock move with their other 130 plus attack rock type.
Yeah.
I sort of do think like there's going to be at least 2 or 3 games where Runagos wins a game by itself or like Drill, and then there's going to be 2 to 3 games where a water type has access to Trailblaze and then they just lose. And then that is just
Rage. The top speed tier is 88. It doesn't need to Trailblaze.
true.
It just
But
clicks water moves.
I feel like Greninja is
and
just going to show
worst
up
case
against this
scenario, they're
roster
against.
and they're gonna fall flat.
This team has nightmares about a Keldeo.
This team gets soloed by Logan Water, like very easily, because it's faster than the entire team and has energy ball.
Yeah.
I mean, this team
Yeah.
also
Okay,
just
but-
kind of
but the
gets soloed
Goodra-
by
the Goodra's
Doc.
Definitely gonna take it. Trust.
The annoying
Yeah.
thing about this team is that it's a 9-mon team, which is a check from me, and it drafted 9 pretty good Pokemon. It just didn't
You
draft
just said
any
that Delta
Pokemon.
Metang isn't real.
It's like
You-
as the 9th mon on your team, it's okay because you're only spending a couple of points. But it's gone top heavy in all of the worst ways.
Yeah.
I
It's
actually
just-
have something really funny to point out.
Okay.
Actually, wait, I'm gonna fact check myself before I say this. I need to double check a signature move real quick.
To go with your point, Blinn, this team went top heavy and skipped leg day.
yes.
Yes. Okay. I did double check it.
Yeah.
Make It Rain is 100 accuracy. I was going to say that
Yes.
Excadrill is the only mon that has that Excadrill and No Guard Driftblim were the only mons with 100% accurate moves as their main stabs.
I'm sorry, Goodra
There
and
is Golden Go
Matang
as well.
and Clefable.
Yeah,
guess
I said offensive.
Okay,
offensive.
Ruin Gross clicks Woodhammer. That works.
Did you just
Tyranitar clicks knockoff.
call Drifblim not an offensive mon?
I said it was one of the ones that was, because it has no guard, so it can hit things.
Yeah.
But that Golden Go is not going to want to be offensive more often than not on this team because it's like the main fairy type answer as well. So
And one of the better
I
fighting type
think-
answers.
I think we should go to the type chart.
Yeah,
just
let's go to the
like-
type
Yeah,
chart to.
let's move on.
Oh boy, this is
I mean,
nice.
We've already discussed this. Like,
What we forgot to talk about was the ice weakness.
true.
Oh yeah,
This is also pretty bad.
because the
team
resistance
never got Pokemon
is. The resistance isn't even the water. The resist is
It's Goldengo.
Goldengo.
Yeah.
Basically,
Yeah.
if you thought some
So
of the
that-
previous teams had anti-synergy, oh boy, why is there a Gale Wingsmon on a sand team?
Yeah,
Alright.
so Palm, when you wanted
Shall
to
we?
rank the team before with the bundle in like Div 5, goodbye. This is the
This
matchup
is
that
why
gets
you
them to
should
win a game so that they're not in
I
Div 5.
see. Yeah, this team's fucking ass, bro. Let's just move on.
Yeah.
Also, there's one more that's going to be Div 5, and we all know what it is, but we're not going to say it yet.
I haven't seen it yet, so.
That's right.
Oh my god, there's both Foundry Mons.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
So the
Okay,
thing that has
I-
to immediately be said for this team is I don't know what the Traveler told Patstar, but they are apparently the best businessmen of all time. Because they got
Oh, wait.
a Delta
Is this
Chandelier
that
from
trade?
them. Yes.
Yeah,
This-
honestly-
This is the Delta Chandelure for the fucking.
Tapu
What did they
Fini.
do?
don't know. Like,
Here,
what
Palm,
do they
you
trade?
go and check Abyssal transactions messages. We will continue
Oh,
doing
yeah,
it.
I'll do that real. Can I make a comment before I do that though? Before. So obviously, I don't check the draft of every single division, every season, right? But I do want to say I've been here since season 2, and I think this is the only time I've ever seen Mega Steelers Fire actually get drafted.
Yeah, fair enough.
True. Anyway,
Solid
welcome to the
team.
team that has successfully stolen someone's social security information.
Yeah, that's the only way that this makes sense. Is like, Padstar, if you need help, please contact the authorities. We will provide assistance where possible.
So we have Chen Pao plus Delta Shandy, which should never happen ever. Zapdos and
Yeah.
Iron Frauds, which works. Ogrepon and Terra Yuxi. Oh boy, Terra Yuxi in Abyssal Division. I recognize
Oh, no.
that from somewhere.
Not again.
And then
It's
we
a-
just have Mega Steelix Fire to say all yo steel types need not apply when it comes to Big Walrus Cat. And Milotic, secretly the ace in the hole of this roster, because its job is get in Big Walrus Cat and Dumb Chandelure.
Sorry to interrupt. I just checked. The thing that was traded for the Chandelure was a Tapu Fini.
Yes.
This person is okay.
We're-
This is mega stonks, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then they just rounded out the
created
team
by
with
a
Delta
highway
Ditto
robbery.
and Terra Smeargle to have a laugh.
Yes.
Yeah, this team is
Squirtle
just,
To be fair, Terra normal power trip population bomb's pretty fucking funny.
Yes.
Which
Uh,
shall
some
smash,
of
to be clear.
I think some of this team was created by highway robbery, because of that trade. But given the trade, it's a very good team, and I do think it's probably one of the main ones that's a shoe in for playoffs.
this is going to hell.
This is going to hell.
This is going to hell, yeah. This is by far I'm
Here, let's not waste time.
look
Yeah.
like
There
as
we
a person who has not looked at Abyssal's doc, this is going to be the best team in the division. I'm sorry, there's no way there's a better team than this.
Yeah.
It's a very good. It's well drafted and has a mon that should not exist on this team. It's
Yeah.
a good team.
Like genuinely, this is a team that I wouldn't be surprised to see in Skydiv.
Yeah.
No, you would be surprised
Well,
because there's a
Sky
round
wouldn't
portion.
allow this to happen.
Yeah.
Oh, true.
This is
Like-
the only div. So the sad thing is, the Traveler is new to this league. The Traveler is going to walk this league and go to Infernal next season, where they are not allowed to draft this, and then are going to be very sad.
Yes.
Have your fun while it lasts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Try to enjoy using this, because you're never going to get to use this again.
Learn
Oh,
quick,
no,
my
no.
friend.
Let's take a quick look at the type chart.
Fightings are kind of a problem, but also two of those weaknesses are Delta Ditto and Smeargle, I think.
Delta Ditto's a water type, actually. I
Oh,
think.
interesting. One of those weaknesses is a Smeargle.
And also, you have a Zapdos and a Yuxi. I'm not worried about fighting types. It's
True.
fine.
Let's see. What is the one Brock resist? Oh, it's Trent.
Iron Frauds.
That's a
That's
Which
a
is
pretty
fine.
good rock.
pretty
There's also
good rock.
Pre-Mega
resist.
Steelix. Pre-Mega Steelix is something they do actually have to
True.
consider as a rock type, I think.
Yeah, that is relevant for sure. But yes, this is if
It's
not
a
the best team in the division, for sure in contention for best team in the division.
It's a very good team. You shouldn't have it, but it's a very good team.
All right.
Yeah, let's
continue.
let's
Have
just rate
it
this
they've
and
earned
move
it
on.
at this point.
Also, how far through are we? I need to pull up the doc.
Oh, hi. It's
we
the person
are-
who was... Never mind. The staff member who was posting about this team in
We
Staff
are
General.
a third of the way through, Glenn.
Oh dear God, we need to go Zoom.
How long do you still have?
Well, I got some time, but we gotta move.
It's
It's
okay,
cool.
we
We
can
gotta-
schmooze.
We got a rock.
Shamoo.
Zeb likes this team because there's a Mega Zeb Strike on it. There's a Terra
Yeah.
Iron Leaves in round 5, which your other Terra captain is just better. So why? Spider
I
Gross,
don't-
Delta
I
Red
think-
Dice. Round 4 Urshi single is an Abyssal moment.
Yeah, so I think the best way to describe this team is that it had 4 amazing picks, and then just me. Well, mid plus a Klefki and a Doc Ock, because those two mods are good.
Yes.
The rest, though, is just, like, Iron Leaves Terror makes no sense. Cyclizar is an awful mon and is only there to fill roles that will never actually do anything.
Like rapid spinning.
Wheezing is okay, and Driploom is not a problem. Like, I'm sorry.
I'm
Like,
gonna be honest. I think if you just chopped off the Drifloon, traded in the Iron Leaves and the Cyclizar, and like got like a better Terramon and then like a 2-point shitter that could maybe do something, turn this into a 9-mon team, I think this could actually be all right. I'll give some credit where credit's due. Like, you have enough. This is a very fixable team. Like, there's only really 2 problem mons, I think. Like, and I guess also the Drifloon. Like, I guess you could bump that up to 3. But there's enough good here that this team could be fixed pretty easily. It also has, like... Okay, the Cyclizar doesn't really count, but if you got a mon in that, like, similar speed tier to replace it, I think this team would be fine.
Yeah, I'll make the argument that you don't even need a second Terramon. Terra Doc is just fine. That mon rules.
Yeah.
Get a Trick Room mode for it,
like,
though. That would be cool.
You should still get a second Terramon, though, to be clear.
I mean, Klefki does get Trick Room.
True.
Like, that is an option.
Yeah.
Backdoor
And
Trick
also,
Room. Always love it.
And also, to be entirely fair with how drafts usually function, I think this person can bring top 4 Klefki in one of the Taros basically every week and do fairly well. Yes, the other 3 mons are pretty shit, but the top 4 keys, 1 Taro will function just fine for the most part, because as we've said multiple times, that top 4 is very good.
I agree with that, yeah. I think this is a shoo-in, honestly. Like,
Yeah, this is a shoo-in. I mean, like every Pokemon team ever made, it's got lots of ice weaknesses and ice resists.
Yep.
Flying's kind of an oopsie, but that's fine. Just throw Klefki in front of every flying type.
Alright.
I
So,
agree.
shoo-in?
Yeah,
Yeah,
shoo-in.
I like
Yeah.
this
this one, I
Yeah,
like
this
this. I actually like this team. I have an overall positive opinion of it if you make some small transactions. So
Yeah, this is a shoo-in. And I mean, it's a shoo-in because Bob didn't draft the top half. Also, this team, I don't care. Adding a 1-point Delta camera up does not make you not cringe. Like, this is a cringe team for me.
Yeah.
Homie out here drafting multiple corrode incident prone mons.
Yeah.
I mean, one of them is Terra, at least.
Yes, that mon is going to Terra Normal and scream every game.
Yeah.
Oh, by
Also,
the way,
it's-
this is your warning that corrode exists. Thank
Yes.
you guys for reminding us of that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Hence the note
It's a-
that this team is going to get corrode incidented, because what is its plan for a poison type?
Crocodile.
I mean,
It's
Milo.
the crocodile or
I
the
get
Milo.
Milo.
Milotic is
actually,
going to get
Milo-
poisoned by any poison type.
Yeah, but then it just shadow balls and deletes it. Milo's a good mod. I
Maybe not the
like
Milo is
Peloton
pretty-
round 1 is not it. Coco, why is there a Coco here when there's nothing to abuse it? There is no
That no one else can
unburden.
abuse it.
There's no unburden. There's no quark drive. Like Coco round 2. I took round 2 Coco, but at least I took something that works with it.
Yeah, round 2 Coco in of itself isn't usually bad, but yeah, you want to actually do something with it.
Yeah.
Also,
Not
somebody
dropping
drafted,
it around.
somebody drafted a team with Palafin and Coco, mind you, where their best way of beating a very fat grass type is to camera up. Like, they don't beat it well.
Yeah.
The Hydrapple. Hydrapple's a good grass resist.
Hydrapple
It's gonna resist, but how is it killing it? Like, it's just not
I
killing
mean,
it.
with the dragon moves.
I guess.
I will admit, though, while the team is cringe, it's still one of the better ones we've seen.
Yeah.
Like, by far.
It's kind of sad, the quality of the teams in this division, but yes, I would agree. It's probably like dead middle for
It has
all
good
teams.
speed tiers. Like,
Like,
the
Purely-
type chart looks good. Like,
yeah, it's kind of the top 3 are principled and good enough on their own, where they will carry whoever this is to 2 wins at least, and then
Yeah.
it's on them to win more.
All right, I think we pretty well discussed this. So where are we putting this?
Top of might make, personally, would be my vote.
Yeah.
This should be reasonable.
That's fine. That's fine.
All right, moving on.
Okay.
Okay, here we go.
And
Who
here
wants
we-
to rant about this team?
Blood
Okay, this team is going to come last in this division, which is really impressive because someone randomized their team. Like it.
Wait, I'm sorry. Someone randomized the draft.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, we're getting there, Paul. We're getting there.
getting-
But
Yeah.
Welcome to Abyssal. You ain't seen nothing yet.
Also the fact that they drafted one triple digit speed tier and said speed tier is a fucking slacking. Like it's
this
just
is-
not good.
Honestly, okay, no. What I want to fucking point out here is, you see that Mega Daunt
Yeah.
right there that they picked
Round
2
2.
picks before the Delta Rose raid and then the Spirit Moon? Like, clearly Moon is supposed to be a thing here, right? I mean, they've even got Blood Moon, right? You know, for the
Yeah.
funny.
yeah,
There's no electric type on this team, and there is no Mega Delta Typhlosion that had been drafted at this point.
Yeah.
I don't believe, at least.
So let's just give some backstory. Adstar said that they dropped the Chandelure because they wanted to draft Moon. They were like, the whole thing this season was, I wanted Moon this season. So they didn't pick up the Typhlosion when it was there, aka the best Moon mon. Like, it is better than with Rain.
And when you fight Rain, it's still really fucking good. So,
Yeah. Like, it's just. This team is just bad. Like, there's no synergy here whatsoever.
I would say the only moderate good job I will give them is the fact that they have one of the best trick room setters in the game into a Blood Moon. That can possibly win a game, but the rest of the team is just complete shit. Like, not good.
It is. Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, I'm assuming you mean is it Deoxys Defense? Is that what you're referring to?
Yeah.
I believe Reuniclus, they're also good trick room,
Reuniclus
but
is
they
a-
can't pivot.
yeah, it's-
so.
It's a decent
Yeah.
trick room, you know.
It's like, sure, you
Also,
can say
like-
trick room, but you have your abusers are the Reuniclus under Moon and the Blood Moon, and then the rest of your team is actively hurt by it. Like,
Yeah. Because the whole point of Crawdon is that you don't have to be slow like regular Crawdon. Like, you click Dragon Dance and you actually outspeed a lot of things.
or you just click
Yeah.
priority. Like,
It's just, yeah.
you know the rules, and so do I.
This is getting the fuck out of here. Like, I
Oh, also, there is one last thing we have to note
Yes.
here.
That's
No
a
rest,
lot
how
of
are you-
fucking zeros.
how do you have
how-
no grass resist?
How do you have
Yeah.
no normal resist?
Well, yeah.
Okay, it has 2 ghosts. Spiritomb is
What I mean is, how did you
unreasonable.
not draft a steel type
Or a
in
rock type?
competitive singles?
There's also only one steel resist.
And
Yes.
also,
There's only-
how did
It's the
draft
Mega
a-
Dawn.
How did you not draft a steel type on an Insurgents Moon team?
Also,
I said
We're
there's,
the best
there's
mod in the team. It's a fucking Typhlosion.
this team is awful. This team is going to goodbye. Let's move on before we put Padstar in there.
Okay, is it bottom of goodbye or?
Oh yes,
It's bottom of goodbye.
it's bottom
on
of
principle.
goodbye.
I don't
Okay.
care if it's actually a worse team. It's on here on principle.
It is the worst team.
I
Like,
say
it-
this with I say it with all the love and respect possible. Pat Starr's team is arguably the worst draft team I have ever seen in any format. It's not good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really? I mean, I'll take your word for it. I believe you. pretty
Okay.
fucking
Key
ass,
grind is
so.
here. Firstly, like, we
Okay,
picked
Okay,
our
I'm
first
sorry.
3
before
picks.
we-
We forgot we were in an Insurgents draft because that's the only ever explanation for taking Heatran round 3.
Yeah.
Okay. Can I actually point something out on that topic?
Yeah.
Have we seen a single Delta Reggie yet? And this is what, like,
Yeah,
the
we
eighth
have.
Yeah.
We have
Where was
seen.
it? Oh,
We've seen
Reggie
2
Steel.
of them.
Red Eye, there was a Delta Registeel.
team? Okay, there
We've
was
seen 2
Reggie-
of them.
Okay, we haven't seen Regirock yet.
Yeah.
And this is the, like... This is the 13th team that we haven't seen Delta Regirock.
Yeah, no, that makes sense though, because Regirock's an early round 2 mon.
Okay, it did get drafted. I at least did
Yes,
check that.
It's coming up. Yeah, it's coming.
Yeah.
More
Looking at
excited
this
for that
team,
than most of this.
Medi is a good mon. Pult Torn is always like it's Pult Torn.
They're good.
What are those bottom 5? Like, I'm sorry, but what? There's a Waylord here with nothing to abuse the snow.
Yeah.
There's a
it's
Meowstick, which Meowstick was only thought to be okay in like Gen 7. So it hasn't been drafted in 2 years.
To be honest,
Crustleberry it looks cute. That's about it. Actually, I take it back. I take back my comment, which is what the fuck are those Terracaps? Terra Hisui and Avalog is going to be amazing in this div because Abyssal do not know how to run mixed attackers. So
Yeah.
every
Yeah.
mon that has a higher attack stat than special attack stat, this Avalog's gonna wall.
can I? Honestly, is it just me, or does this just look like a bad Sword and Shield team?
It does, yeah.
Like,
And yeah, there's no Gen 9 on Sonic.
no, like
Also, is this-
technically there's Hisui and Avalog, but like,
Also, this team
Uh.
is like it's so close to cringe because that Crustle's never coming to a game, and neither's that Waylord. So like this is cringe by proximity.
Sedge.
I will admit, the Hisui and Avalog under the snow is gonna be pretty fucking funny though. You gotta give them that at
will be-
least.
Yeah, to be
That
fair
is
to
kind of funny.
It's gonna be pretty funny.
It will be pretty fun.
I actually want to run a calc. Does it live any fighting type moves?
Probably. Because it's an Avalog.
But it's Avalog Hisui, which is quad weak.
Yeah, but it's
give me
in
a
the
fighting.
snow.
Give me a fighting type that's.
How about the Hariyama? There's a Hariyama right on this team.
Oh yes, let's
True.
see if it lives a Hariyama adamant close call. Adamant.
yes,
Close
but
Guts. Make it guts.
so I did just run a count. The table takes 76 to 92 from a life form Mienshao close combat when it's max defense in the snow.
That's pretty good. I respect that.
It lives. Yeah.
It dies to a guts close combat only sometimes.
Honestly, okay.
Very
Okay, my opinion of this team has improved slightly only because of those calcs. That's really fucking funny.
That is very funny. Also, I'm gonna slap anyone that tries to hit this Avalog physically and gets walled by it.
Run
Also,
mixed
speaking of that-
attackers, people. It'll make your life easier later.
Speaking of that Hariyama, this team's physical offense is basically just that Hariyama.
I mean, this is
Uh,
a rude. This is
I-
rude.
I mean, Zarude, yes, but like, point being is this team is going to struggle a lot versus like good special walls. Like, it's going to be an issue.
You drafted a Pult and then not a lot of stuff that actually helps chip stuff for Pult. Like, also the only hazards here are the Heat Train and the Avalon.
And the Crossel technically, Crossel gets spikes.
It's
Like I said,
always
the only
bad
hazard setters are the
when-
Heat Train and the Avalon.
Okay, fine.
It's always
Let's
the very
run a
best.
chart.
His third best attacker is, I think, Darth Bolt, which is like not ideal.
This is, I mean, the Ice Weakness is kind of funny, but this
Yeah,
doesn't
but
look
they
at
also
all
have
that interesting.
4 resists, so like,
Yeah, this is a very uninteresting chart. There's nothing to really
yeah,
make
that,
fun
that
of.
chart's
so
not
let's move
particularly
on.
interesting. All right, let's
Wait,
play
I'm
this.
sorry. Can we go back for 1 second?
Yeah.
Is the logo just a fucking JPEG of Garchomp on a screenshot from Legends Arceus?
Yes.
Yeah.
Honestly, that's peak. That's kind of great. I like that.
Where are we ranking? Where are we ranking this team?
Alright, where
This is
are
like-
I feel like it's either won't. It's either bottom of might or top of won't. I think.
I think
I think it's bottom of mine.
I can
Like
see
it's
it.
at the end of the day, there's Pult Torn Mega Delta Medi. With
a
like
bad
Zarude.
Gen 8 team is still better than most Abyssal teams. So
Yeah.
It's true.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's keep moving.
All right, Willow Rush.
Yeah, this team
Oh,
makes me
wait,
happy
because- Wait, 1 second. 1 second. Hi, Polaris. I'll see you in MMC tomorrow because this is being recorded on Saturday night. I believe this is the same person, at least.
I'm confused.
Oh,
But anyway,
Let's keep going.
Yes.
So Terra Cincino makes me happy because I swept perfection with that last season. Pheasantipity is a goat. Gallade Lando is like, yeah, that's fun. What did you do round 3 and 4? Why is there like fat mons which ruin the buttons team? Also,
I would
why
like
did
to
you
remind
ever
you-
Terra Delta Ludicolo?
I would like to remind you of the presence of corrode as well.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Ferrothorn is so much worse in this.
This is going to be a
But
corrode
at
mode.
least their fairy isn't weak to poison. That makes it
Yeah.
not as bad. Honestly,
True.
I actually don't hate this team for the most part. Like, I mean, there is the freeze dry weakness, as was pointed out. That's pretty terrible.
Yes. Yeah, there
Like,
is.
I wouldn't call this a
Hero-
good team, but I don't hate it.
Oh, so I do feel like
There is one freeze dry resist. It is the Mega Delta Late.
so I feel like even though the team has some problems, like it does, in general, it could be considered a decent team, which is more than we could say about a lot of these teams. It's
But yeah,
boring.
like, I think this team is all right. Like, this is a team that, like, if I were to fight it, I'd respect it and prep just because, like, this can do a lot of damage. Like,
115
and like, hey, there's
speed
like
peak,
there's multiple
surprisingly
sweeper
high.
options. They've got good breakers. Like, this team at least covers its offenses fairly well, even if its defensive integrity is really just Landorus Intimidate and like Boots Moltros.
And
I,
Pheasantipity. And
I
Ferrochoke.
am gonna say one nitpick. All of their hazard removers, with the exception of maybe Moltres, even though they have a shit ton of them, don't really want to click that button. I guess.
There's one exception in that technically Chinchino, but you should not be relying on Tidy Up.
Yeah, I guess. And like,
Eh,
and
the
then
removal's
even
fine.
bringing defog on Moltres, you're not running U-turn, and that's like the only reason why Moltres is viable in those formats. So, yeah.
I think this team is. I like this team, even though rounds 3 and 4 make me really sad, and the fact
It's
that
alright.
for some reason
It's alright.
those last 3 mons exist.
I mean, I'd rather have a webs button on this team than like if this team has to be 11 mons, at least one of them says webs. Could be
It
worse.
doesn't though. We allow Nightmon teams for a good reason.
I am also
Look
realizing
at that. Look at
mono-
the ground weakness and look at the ghost weakness.
Yeah, their mono ghost resists Terramon. That's
Should
not
I
Oh, yeah,
ideal.
the Ghost
Chinchino.
Resist is Chinchino.
Well, granted, their weaknesses are Delta Charizard and Delta Ludicolo.
That's
like,
not the
it's-
problem. Ghost is a type that you click for neutral damage, not for super effective.
Fair.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't think it's as big a deal when you have none of your like actually strong ones are weak to it.
yeah, the
And
neutral
there is a
Pokemon
fast
probably
Divinity
can
as
handle it,
well.
so it's probably fine.
But Fez handles a lot of ghosts.
Also,
Yeah.
AD Hoopa can like sit in
The
front.
ground
and
weakness
punch
is actually kind of a problem though, because it really is only the Landorus that's like a good
And-
resist, because Moltres just dies to any rock slide. So
Yeah. Anyway, we need to rank this.
I think it's.
I think
I think.
this is like
I
think this is
kind of.
top.
You go first,
Yeah.
Glenn. Go ahead.
It's like top of my bottom of Shuin, I think.
I
wouldn't
was
say
gonna
bottom
say
of
bottom.
Shuin.
of Shuin.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
like, it's a good
This
team.
is
And then makes no fly here.
This team has enough going for it that I could see it being a shoe-in.
It has
Yeah.
a disappointing lack of stuff to be disappointed in.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, like this is all right. Like
It's a
this is an
solid
Abyssal team that
like,
doesn't make me want to move on to the next slide. Like
Let's move on to the next slide anyway, because
Yes.
we know what's coming up.
Okay,
I have
we
a, I have a
agreed that-
bit. I have a bit to pick with this team, and I'm gonna pull up the damn transactions chat. Firstly, Tim randomized their team, but they randomized it badly to the point where they were basically ignoring the draft, and Abyssal became a 19-man draft. No, sorry, 17. We
17.
don't do 20. And like, yeah, fine, funny, like, just ignore the draft, like that's fine. But then they like changed all of it.
Okay,
Like,
so
what the-
I have a counterpoint to this. I think I know exactly what their process was. So they did the initial randomization. They got a bunch of bots. Then
Yeah.
what they did is they had like 30 points left over. So they took some creative liberty in choosing which mons they re-randomized, but they re-randomized the mons so that they at least spent their budget, is what they did.
Yeah, it's just
That's still not committing to the bit nearly enough if you're gonna try for a bit like this.
Honestly, as a commissioner though, that when we have to deny people, and we had to deny some people that were really active in speed tours, doing that to the draft, and this team is going to go 0-9, is just kind of a kick in the teeth. Because I know that there will be people who didn't make it in that sit here and look at this when a round 2 Spite Ops and just is yeah. It just feels a bit bad. But also this team is going to just lose every game.
Yeah, this team's dog shit. But
This
that's
is-
what I expected. It was randomized.
If we had to pick a 6 of just the objectively best Pokemon, Mega Delta Lucario,
Haxorus, Avalugg, Vikavolt,
Axorus,
Venusaur, and
Avalugg.
then probably the Nidoking in the last slot.
Yeah. So just Ice Beam rolls this team. If you beat Snorlax, you Ice Beam the team. It's just, if you're not weak to Lucario, the speed tiers are ridiculous. It's just bad.
Yeah.
I honestly don't think we even waste any more time on this team.
Yeah.
It's,
I already put it in the goodbye tier. Yeah, let's
Just-
move on.
it's the
Let's not
second
even-
bottom of the
Yeah, let's just move on.
Yeah.
Okay, we reached
Now,
Mega.
this
No, this
is a
team is
team.
not cringe.
This is a team because they did everything correct. They drafted 7 really, really good mons. They drafted Hisuian Coolfish, which is an 8th mon, which comes to games, and it does things, but it's not pressuring. And then they drafted a funny 1-pointer that is Terra, which can actually do something.
And has
This is a
regenerative.
team.
Okay, I'm sorry. Is that a round 7 Urshifu Rapid? That lasted that long?
Welcome to Abyssal Palm. It gets worse. You haven't
Yeah.
seen everything yet.
Man, am I glad that I was here when this was Registeel or whichever it was. It might have been Regice,
Yeah.
actually.
This was
Regirock
Regirock.
was the original mod.
Oh, this was Regirock. Okay, I'm glad I was
Yeah,
here.
you were in Rock.
Anyway, this team.
This is the best
real
team.
This is
This
a
is the
really
best
good.
team.
This is a very good team.
This is yeah.
I like this slightly less than the internet scammer, but
Yeah.
this is a good
Oh
team.
yeah, sorry, I forgot about that.
Still very good.
Sorry, this is the best team that wasn't conceived by blackmail.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's not as funny as the trade, but it is probably an overall better team.
I also have to say, speaking as somebody who doesn't know a ton about the format, those are 3 amazing ass deltas. And
Yeah.
even the Ambipom is very good, but Lax, Fisk, and
You
Fisk
underestimate how
great.
good the Ambipom actually is. Delta
The
Ambipom
Ambipom is so good.
price.
Empom
It's
is really good.
great. The only problem I have with this team is the low speed peak. That's the only issue I have here.
It's a little
It's
slow.
fine.
Yeah, it's a little slow.
It's okay.
It's
but
fine because Urshifu Rapid
Because
is one
Abyssal
of the
speed tiers
easiest
are
mons.
fucking dog shit, that's why.
Also, Urshifu is one of the easiest mons in the entire game to scarf
Yes.
because of
Yes.
Surgeon
And
Strikes.
also, again, this division speed tiers are fucking awful on average. And
Yeah.
as whoever's in blue pointed out,
Yeah,
triggering
Graveler's the
Graveler
trigger
into
spell.
that Stunfisk is actually legit kind of threatening. So.
yeah.
Especially
is
when the
actually
Graveler
a
has
trigger
magic
mode
bounce, so you can't taunt it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Delta Graveler, unironically, is probably the best 1-point trick room mod.
Honestly,
It's not even it's not even up for debate. It just is.
Delta Duosion?
honestly, speaking
Also-
platonically, I want to kiss you for giving me an actually good team to look at. Thank you so much.
Also, the biggest compliment to this team throughout the entire of PRs, I've been playing Ranbats. I got to almost 1800, and then I got swept by a Smeargle. Let's not talk about it. This team made me stop queuing for Ranbats to talk about it.
Also, your logo's fucking adorable.
I
Yeah.
do love the logo. The logo's fantastic.
This
Yeah,
team is
this-
just
this-
generally fantastic. I would love to give you the number 1 slot, but unfortunately,
Why?
somebody had a gun to someone else's head. So let's give it
You
the
know
number
what?
2 slot.
Let's
Let's give it to
deserves
number
to
one.
be in going to hell.
No, let's give
I
it
think
to
we
number
just-
1. I don't like rewarding blackmail, so let's give it number 1.
That is fair.
I think they should still be in the same tier, though.
Oh,
yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
These two
I kind of
teams
sort of
are
wanna make a-
far and away better than everything else in the division.
Yeah.
Like, at this point, Bob's team with the random Terra Iron Leaves is in 3rd spot. That tells you
Yeah.
how big the gap
Oh
is.
my gosh.
Okay, let's keep going. Let's keep
Yeah,
going.
this team
Yeah.
is going to hell and
Congratulations,
deserving
everybody.
it in a good way.
It's a good principal
Oh
team.
wait, never. I take it back. The Typhlosion had been sniped. That's why it wasn't drafted by the Moon guy. Never mind.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
And
no,
speaking of the
Typhlosion was
Moon guy-
wasn't taken round 1.
Oh yeah, true. I mean, to be
Yeah.
fair, Chandelure, but like, still. Why?
So,
why
this is-
Why the Growlithe taking a shit on the toilet?
Why I don't know.
The Growlithe
I
is
did a-
studiously waiting on the
Oh.
toilet seat, Pub. That toilet
Oh,
is
wait,
closed.
the team is called the Pooping Growlithes. Oh,
Yes.
So
Oh, okay, yeah.
we did
That's
the
all
darkness
right.
thing, and we got gifted a round 3 Delta Regirock, and so that means that this team should have been ridiculous with those top 3 in that order.
Yeah.
And then we had round 6 Lunatone as the only way to enable that moon, because we apparently let ourselves get sniped of
Honestly,
the
Also,
Spiritomb.
was taken
why
around
why
5.
is this a Moon team instead of a Rain team? Is my question, because you could be procking that
Yeah.
Tri-Spin on that Regirock.
True.
Yeah, exactly.
Actually, yeah.
Just dip that
Like,
Lunatone,
Moon
grab a
still works
Pelipper,
fine
and
for
profit.
this,
Dip that
but-
Evire, grab
just-
somebody, and profit.
Honestly, just ditch like the bottom. Actually, we only let you give 5 transactions, so you have to keep 2 of these mons. So
I-
probably keep. I don't know, the
Keep
two
Electivire,
shit.
probably.
You probably
Electivire.
keep. No, you don't. Not if you're
Electivire.
going rain.
Oh yeah,
Not
if
if you
you're
got
doing
Rain.
Rain.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
keep
just
the
pick up a
Glowbro.
Pelipper, make it Terra Pelipper, and just win.
Yeah, you keep the
And I
mean, like,
Glowbro, you
Rain
keep
of
the
it.
Executor.
Okay, but-
Yeah.
Right, these PRs are gonna be fucking unintelligible with all those
Oh, yeah.
fucking organs.
Yes, they are.
Yeah.
It's part of the appeal.
So yeah, I think. Do we like anything about this team?
The top 3 is pretty good, and they
It's
have some
still
off.
functional. Like it's functional. Like,
Yeah. I
Like the
think
Moon
you're-
strat still works, even if the setter is not great.
I think
Yeah,
Jared
I
Delta
guess.
Electivire has the potential to absolutely destroy this division.
Yeah. Oh,
That is
100%.
pretty funny.
Just please
Um,
bring a
It's like-
mixed set when you fight the Hisui and Avalugg.
Yeah.
It is
Um,
somehow a more functional team than all but like 3 that we've looked at so far. So it's like,
Yeah, like
Oh, I
at
wouldn't say
least
it's
it
that
was
good.
like. At
I
least
wouldn't
it was
say
like
it's that
drafted with a strategy in mind. Like,
I mean, weather
talking
teams
about-
build themselves usually, so
Mm.
Yeah, like they put some effort into this. Like I respect that. Like they remembered that Moon boost Surf. So
true. They did grab the frog. Alright, let's look at
look at that type match.
oh,
Look at the ground matchup.
that's a bit of a yikes.
Also, one of
Jeez,
those
there is
immunities
so
is
much
Lunatone, which is a
immunity.
fake immunity, so this is functionally 5 to 2.
Yeah, one of those immunities is fake. Yeah.
dang.
Yeah, this is what I was trying to tell you when you guys were like, yeah, this team is like kind of functional. I mean, it's not. Like, I'm sorry, it's not.
In fairness, what physical ground type beats Delta Regirock?
One that has grass knot. One that has
Yeah.
toxic because this
Okay,
team doesn't
that is
really
fair.
have a weight.
I will certainly give you that.
Toxic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A ground type with toxic kind of ruins this roster. If it can live a hit from this
So-
roster.
So, where are we ranking this?
I think it goes in
I
I think, like,
Wait.
agree. Yeah.
really? I was going to put it in alone.
I think
Uh,
the bottom might make playoffs, personally.
Yeah, I think it's.
It would
I,
if it
I
were
could
for
agree with
the insane ground and fighting weakness, I'd rate it a bit higher, but
Its upside feels so incredibly high, but it's hamstrung by its inability to deal with one of the most common and prevalent options available.
I mean, the other thing is, if you get into a weather war, you don't.
True. This is kind of all in, and there
Yeah.
are, as we were about to establish, 4 weather teams in Stiv. So
which honestly is less than I would have expected.
Yeah, there's no sun,
fair.
there's no snow, there's no
Like, I feel like usually new Insurgents players see like all the new setters and they're like, oh, weather team time. And then they draft a weather team that gets absolutely fucked as soon as their opponent makes a move that changes the weather or drafts a Cloud9
Yeah.
bomb. But like, I'm gonna be honest, I fucking hate weather teams. Like full weather teams.
If you want a
And-
good weather
but, like-
team, just have a look at my team.
If you want a good weather
No,
team,
but
have
you
a weather mode.
You
Yep.
don't have an entire weather team. There's a difference. Weather modes I love. I think they're fun. I think they're very powerful. It's just you need to avoid pigeonholing yourself by making your entire team around the one mode.
You're in
You need to have more than one mode. And this team only has one mode, and like yeah, that mode's threatening. But what happens when your opponent clicks Sunny Day?
True.
You,
It
just-
would be
you cry.
very funny.
True.
Alright, shall we move on?
This team loses
Yeah,
to
let's move
Spadef
on.
Delta Greninja. Anyway.
Okay.
So, remember how I said there's another team that God of War outspeeds? This is it.
Okay.
Ow.
I would like to correct this. Mega Eevee's speed
With an
stat is
asterisk.
all over the place.
Yeah.
Functionally, in the God of War
Yeah,
matchup, its speed stat is 110 when it turns into Espeon. But otherwise, and Mega Eevee's speed stat is effectively 130 when it's clicking Thunderbolt and Volt Switch.
Usually Volt Switch.
But otherwise, you are absolutely correct. These speed tiers are wonky. Also, the Terrapagos is supposed to be 85 because this is the wrong Terrapagos spread.
Why is there only? Why are
Yeah.
there so many
Yes.
fucking teams in this dude that only have one Terra Captain?
I don't hate only having one, but yeah, no, it feels bad.
I mean,
Yeah.
wait, isn't this the person that fucking whiffed every single? Isn't this the person that ran a Focus Energy? Terra
Oh,
Steel?
yeah.
Yes. This is the
And then
person who
with
played the
every
first game
time-
of the season.
This is Terra Kingdra with no weather.
Why the fuck did you run Hydro Pump instead of just clicking Scald?
Yeah.
Like, I'm gonna be upfront with that. Why the fuck would you ever click Hydro Pump on a mon not named bundle unless you also have Surface Scald?
Go,
And
go,
you just
go,
have it for
Joe
one.
DiMaggio.
You click Hydro Pump if you need it for the rolls, for like.
Yeah, but you usually have another water move alongside it.
Yeah.
So something
I like
insanely
the top.
sad that I just realized about this team. I'm pretty sure the fat fuck fish has the 4th highest physical attack stat on this team. Which is
That's embarrassing.
It's
That-
who is in
Correct.
front of it? Tinglu.
There's
King-
Flareon
King-
and Tinglu.
I'm pretty sure it's Tingle, Kingdra, and Pagos, I believe.
Flareon. There's Flareon Mega Eevee.
Yes.
I'm more
Mm.
or less ignoring the Eevee because it's running
Well,
still
be
more so,
surprised.
but
It
not-
runs mixed fairly.
not
frequently,
really.
actually.
I wouldn't say it runs special more.
it's like
Yeah.
It's usually
okay.
Yeah.
Well, then fair.
it often carries Flare Blade to just deal with the. Usually, it brings Flare Blade because like Jolteon is pretty handily the best form just because of how spamable the Volt Switch is alongside the Glaceon. So usually, you're going to end up bringing Flareon with Flare Blades for any grass types that Glace can deal with. Like if you're fighting something like a Ferrothorn, for example, you're going to see the Flareon come up.
Yeah,
Yeah,
honestly, I think. Yeah, you bring Volt Switch, you bring like Flare Blitz.
Oh no. Oh, boy.
Here, I'm curious.
Yeah, we.
Well, I'm in bed.
Yeah, this is like it's started good. It's an early Glow King, but like that's
The
okay.
top three legit is good. It's just like after that, it kind of. It feels like after that they sneezed, and like they got what they were cooking all over their shirt, and then like grabbed the scraps and put it back on the pan.
That is
Interesting
a
metaphor.
strangely accurate.
But yes, it
Metaphor,
does
yeah.
actually summarize this well. Yeah. All right. Is the card
Yeah.
interesting at all?
I mean,
I mean,
look at the electric.
It's actually a
matchup.
decent chart compared to most of these, which is really sexy.
I mean, there's 2 electric immunities and 2 electric resists.
And
like,
plus the Jolteon, I just think it's really funny to just see the two reds right there.
Yeah.
I think it is also very funny
usually
to
what
see
these-
how many types this team technically has because of Eevee that this chart doesn't say it has.
Yeah.
Yeah.
True.
Alright.
It was kind of legit.
Where are we putting this?
It's the top of one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
it won't. I think.
Uh,
Yeah. I don't even think it's top of one. Yeah.
I think.
Oh yeah, 3 teams to go. Let's keep going.
Okay.
I've got to trash talk 3 more teams, and then I can go buy a cake.
Nice.
Like this is just okay. Like
Honestly, I have astonishingly little to say about this.
exactly, it's Garchomp is a fraud, but it's like it's okay.
Nah, that's cap. That's
Uh,
cap.
it's
I mean,
for a round 1 pick. It's
It shouldn't be
100%
round
fraud.
1. It shouldn't be round 1, but Garchomp's good, man.
It's just every mon on this team was taken like a round or 2 early, to the point, but it still has like okay synergy. It still has
except the Scizor.
yeah, except the Sizzle.
I will
Like-
also argue that the Grottle is taken way too late.
Nah, you're just in love with that one. Like that's when Goddle should be taken. It is a like 4-pointer. It should not be taken earlier than round 8.
Fine.
Also, Inferior of the Ice Fighting Deltas has some age.
True, because nobody has a snow mode. Is there anything particularly
Honestly-
remarkable about this team?
No.
Can we just put this
Yep.
in one? Can we just put this in one big playoffs? Actually, no. Can we just
No,
put this
this
like
is-
bottom of might and then move on?
No, it's better than bottom of might. Like it's a good team with good synergy and decent
Can we
speed
put it
tiers.
in middle of might and move on?
I think this will. I'd say this should be a shoe-in because like what breaks this? It's just incredibly boring.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
It's just
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
it being boring just makes me want to put it lower because it's boring. But that would be.
I
fair.
mean, it's weak to Ghost, which is like its only flaw.
And flying and
Oh, yeah.
fairy.
There is no ghost resist at all.
This is true.
Yeah.
Who are your flying and
Oh, actually,
fairy
I-
resists?
Okay, I will ask
Uh,
this question though.
I mean, one of the fairy
Upgrade.
weaknesses is the Terramon.
I'm gonna ask
Let's do
this
the
question.
True.
I remember Mega Delta Milotic. Is there
Oh,
a single other ghost type in this division? I guess there's like the spirit.
There's Dragapult.
There's
There's
a
a
pole,
Dragapult.
yeah. But like I don't remember seeing.
It was a
like,
Hooper
name.
Unbound.
That feels
No,
like,
that's Dark
Palm,
Psychic.
you should pull up the doc and
Okay,
fact
but
check that.
consider it's Abyssal. It's not worth that much effort.
I've got the doc here. Let me have a look.
I'm in bed, man. I'm not getting up for that.
Aren't you on your... Just do it on your phone, I guess. I don't know.
Bro, my phone's charging. Fuck that.
Then how are you on this call?
Because I'm on my computer's turned on. I'm on my bed 4 feet away.
Yeah, They're
Oh.
just screaming in the general direction of the.
Yeah, I'm just yelling in the general direction of my
Oh.
microphone.
That's fun.
That is
Let's
pretty
see. I don't see too many ghost types.
cool. I don't think
Yeah,
they're
That's
right.
my
Mega-
point. There's a few, but like
There's Spiritomb.
yeah, it's like it's mainly Mega Delta Milo and the Dragapult. That's like the main two.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In fairness, those two are
I
not
mean,
fucked,
there's one.
but-
There's one coming up here.
Oh,
I would like to
okay.
note that with this fairy and flying resist profile, one of the mons for both of those is Delta Coffer.
Yeah.
So
I think
that's
that's
Wow.
That's half decent. Yeah, I still think this is like bottom for shoe-in, just because it's like it's okay.
Alright, let's play this.
It's okay, which is better than we can say for most of the stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's my point. If this was a team
Yeah.
in like, if this was a team in perfection, it'd be going to Brazil.
Honestly, I
I
could
guess.
see this being, in a weird way, I could see this being an Infernal team. It's just like there are better teams in this division still. Does that make sense? Like,
I
like this is like a might make playoffs in Infernal.
Yeah.
Okay.
Context.
Yeah.
Unless, okay.
Dupes.
Oh, okay.
This
I'm
is-
getting out of bed for this. It's the Insurgents raid.
It is the rain team. There must
It-
always be one.
It's rain drafted properly. You got Serpentinite. You didn't get the Typhlosion, but that's a pipe dream. You got
Yeah.
a Scizor and a Tangrowth. So, like, Tangrowth's really good. You
What
got
else?
a Terraflying Hurricane Spammer.
Yep.
You got
Mind
a
you,
good...
it's a Jugulus. But
It's fine. It's like one of the best flying type Terramons. The only thing this is missing is like an Overquill, I think.
this does
Yeah.
still somehow feel like the least one of the less threatening Insurgents raid teams I've seen, but that's just because they didn't get the Typhlosion. That's like really the only
Yeah.
reason why.
Yeah.
I mean, you never should. Typhlosion should be around 1 or 2 mon, as should
Yeah,
Dragonite and
yeah.
Serp.
Like, usually it's like.
Mm.
Usually, I feel like if someone manages to get both the Typhlosion and the Dragonite, they have to forfeit the Superior. Usually,
Yeah.
this team's perfectly solid. Like I
Yeah,
think
I
this
think
is an
it's-
alright gang.
I think
Yeah,
This
so
just has the
pretty good.
same problem I
My
mentioned
one-
before. Of that if someone clicks Sunny Day, you just kind of get fucked.
Not really, because there's still like Kyurem and
There's still
Venusaur.
Kyurem.
Kyurem and Venu.
Yeah,
And
but
Jugulus
the thing
run-
is,
Jugulus
it
and
has
Scizor
mons.
also. Like,
Actually, yeah, no, you're right. I take that back. This team can function perfectly fine outside of rain.
It can.
also, the only thing I'd say, I'm actually going to look this up. So, the bottom 3 are 11 points. How many points is Overquill? And did it get
You
drafted?
should have an Overquill on this team. It's a lot better.
Overquill is 9, and it didn't get drafted. What's
Yeah,
our Terra
get
budget
Overquill.
limit?
I don't think they can
Okay,
afford
they can't.
Terra
Yeah, they
overall.
can't Terra, but that's fine. Just get Overquill,
And then a two
and get like a 2-pointer.
I
So
do
you
Yeah,
can
because
make
like,
it a
with
Terra.
with
You can even
Scizor
make it a
and
Terra
Superior on
2.0 if
default,
they
that would
wanted.
be fine.
Let's have a look at some of the cool 2-point Terramons that they could get.
Get one that
about we
resists
just-
fairy, because we've got 4 fairy weaknesses on this team.
I mean,
Yeah.
Scizor Muck is not bad.
Yes, but
Oh,
we're
yeah,
ditching
yeah,
the
not
muck
the
for this
best.
hypothetical Overquill.
Oh right.
True.
Yeah, no, that's fine. We just... Oh, well, then we get the best 2-point Terramon. We get Bastiodon. Because Bastiodon is goated. But in all reality, you probably just pick up, like... I don't know. Terra Golem... Actually, you can't Terra the Golem. I don't know. You pick up something. You can find some value.
Anyway, let's move on.
Yeah, I think it's...
So yes,
Ground weakness.
fairies spoopy. Well, let's do it.
Yeah, I think this is like middle. I'd put this above the VGB team. Like, I'd put it just below Bob's. Actually, no, I'm putting it above Bob. No, Bob's top 4 is crazy. Either above or below Bob, I think.
It's a
think
solid. It's
I think I
Very-
like
I
it a
think
little
the-
better than Bob's team.
Yeah,
I think
true.
above by the virtue of it being Insurgents Reign.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's Insurgent's Rain. Like,
Yeah,
it's,
but
it's
Insurgents Reign is still one of the strongest archetypes I've ever seen in Pokemon, even without Mega Delta type. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
that shit's
Bob's
fucking
team-
terrifying.
Bob's team
Especially
jumps
in
to the
Abyssal.
top 2 with like 1 or 2 transactions.
Yeah.
But this team at the moment is just better.
Yes.
Yeah, I think this is fine.
Especially
Alright,
at
that
being a
makes sense.
team.
Yeah, it's better at being a team. I think that's fair. Okay, last one.
Alright, last
and
one.
Oh,
Oh my
my
lord.
god.
I'm going to no. I'm deleting. I'm sorry. Who did that?
That was Zeb.
Yeah, Zeb does that
Who
every
did
time.
what?
So, to look at the notes of people, we've got in Blin's green, normally if a
Okay,
team is
If
cringe,
you
it is at
refresh
least
it,
good.
if you refresh it, I've deleted all the cringe.
Okay,
Don't
Try
I'll,
going.
I'll, I'll
Try
refresh
changing-
it.
Oh, God damn it.
Yeah.
Yeah, the point was made. The point was gotten across.
Yeah,
Okay, yeah. All right, here we go.
take it back now, y'all. Cha-cha real
it is a
smooth.
cringe
Okay.
team. It is a cringe team that did it poorly. This team literally just explodes if you put an Enam in front of it. Which granted, there's only one of them.
Or like any reasonable fairy, honestly. It doesn't even need to just be the Enamorous.
Yeah.
It's just a fairy that learns Shadow Ball or Earth Power or Fire Blast. Or
Preferably
Or just
Earth Power to hit the
Team beats
Arcanine.
from Arena.
Yeah.
Or just
Yeah.
Surf.
And the 80 Slash and the Monkey Dory, every fairy resist on its team is weak to ground. Which, in fairness,
Yeah.
every fairy resist on paper is weak to ground. It's just usually it doesn't matter this much. Because usually you'll have neutral bulk that can also take on a fairy with a ground move.
I mean, that just
Yeah,
has
I-
to be Shaman on this team.
I was gonna say, I guess there's a
Yeah.
shaman.
That just
His
has to be
entire
shaman.
top 3 just hates fairies, and he drafted no fairy support. Like, it just is not good for that.
I'm
I mean,
kind
the
of
other
questioning
thing-
why the fuck the Samurot's even here, because, like, aside from the Flagon, I don't feel like anything here really even benefits that much from the Spike Strip.
Oh, so I'm gonna have to check something in a bit. I'm just realizing this team has no Terramons unless I missed something.
It does
Oh,
I
not.
will
I'll
check
check
that for you.
I'll check it right now. I will open the doc for
The
this one,
Iron
making fun
Thorn,
of
the
Delta
Iron
with
Thorns is
teams.
Terra. The
Okay, I
Iron
just
Thorns.
Oh,
I forgot.
okay.
Okay, so the Iron Thorns is Terra. There's also an Iron Thorns on the same team as a Thunderous Therian.
Yeah, I'm just confused.
I mean,
Yeah.
to be fair, Terra Iron Thorns is a good Pokemon. Like,
Yeah, no, it is. But, like,
In
why would you
isolation.
draft that and the Thunderous?
I just don't like. I think my comment in the green sums up this team. Like, normally, if a team is cringe, it's at least good. Because in HBF, all the deltas go earlier than they should because people want to use fun stuff. So if you
Yeah.
want to make a cringe team, you can actually make a really good one because there's mons like, say, Valiant, Dragapult, and that last way longer than they should.
Yes.
So when people come in, it's like, hey, I didn't want to be cringe, but like I wanted to use something super broken. Like in the past, we've seen like a bunch of Quark Drive mons plus Coco be a cringe team, and you're like, hey, at least it's a cringe team that I can semi understand because you wouldn't get to use that elsewhere. Like you wouldn't get to run Coco Bundle Valiant anywhere. This is just mid.
It's
It's just, yeah.
it is
It's just
not
mid.
inherently super flawed, but it's not inherently great at anything either. And
Yeah.
honestly, even if this was like a normal league and you turn the Mega Flygon into a vanilla Mega, I still don't think I'd like this team that much.
It's just, yeah.
Yeah.
Honestly, this team needs an overhaul. Actually, let me look at like some of the top ones that are left.
Team
in
needs to
Abyssal.
be in a different league.
Honestly,
yes, this team
There's
does
so many-
sun coverage.
Emma Swine. Woo!
I had to get a
There's-
Mammal Swine reference in
the
here
6
somewhere.
grass resist.
Yes.
He
Oh,
needs
that is
to-
really
he needs to-
funny.
The
Yeah.
team with no
He needs to
grass
let one of
resist
the
would like to
pads
have a
up.
word
Took
with
all the
you.
grass from the other guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, can I just like to finish off this video? I'd like to list some of the deltas that didn't get drafted in Abyssal.
Okay.
Actually, no. We should rank this team first.
Yeah,
and
let's
then
rank it first, then you can list them. Okay.
I think this is like top of won't
That's fair.
Yeah.
because it's still like it's not like it's still bad,
It's
but
not
it's just mid. It's not.
awful.
I guess, yeah.
It's
I
acceptable.
want to put it in goodbye on principle, but we can't.
No.
Yeah, no.
Goodbye's about to get crowded. We already have 3
Yeah.
teams in there. That's a little much.
Okay, so I think that I should list some of the deltas that didn't get drafted,
Okay.
aka people who we shit on your team. Pick up some of these.
What I can tell you immediately, no one took Delta Golurk, which is one of my personal favorites.
Yeah. No one took Mega Delta Lopunny,
Wild.
which is kind
Also
of
another
crazy.
personal favorite of mine.
No one
Lovely
took
kiss with it, people.
Delta Escav.
Huh.
So
Wait, Oh my god, wait a moment. Wait, Blinn, before you go any further,
Oh no.
we have a Abyssal div that did not draft Delta Crustal Cake.
yeah,
Wait, you're right.
Cake went undrafted
Honestly,
in all 4 divs.
Legit, kudos for that, but also, you're a moron, because, on one hand, you didn't fall for one of the biggest news traps in Insurgents, but also you're an Abyssal, where it's not a noob trap, and it actually can just kill people, so...
Yeah. Necro, please prepare for this next one. No one drafted Scyther.
I was gonna say, I just looked through it, was thinking about this. Someone drafted Scizor, and they didn't draft the much better Pokemon.
Yeah. No one drafted Delta Aurorus, which is a huge one that no one picked up.
Oh yeah, that's also really good, yeah.
Yeah. No one drafted Delta Yanmega
That's
when
not
there's
the
this
worst.
much weather.
That one doesn't always get drafted, to be fair.
But there's this much weather, and it is amazing on both rain
Okay, that's true,
and
there is-
sun.
Okay, there's no sun, but yes, it would be very good in the rain.
There's also no
No
Delta
one-
Torterra, which is kind of
There's
surprising.
no Delta Torterra. There's no Delta Darmanitan,
Huh.
which I think's real. Like all these teams that didn't have enough buttons. There's plenty of them, and there's plenty of Delta ones.
Yeah.
Moving down, there's no Delta Magmortar, which I think like that usually goes.
There's no regular Delta Gardevoir, which is another kind of surprising one.
That doesn't go.
That's not
often.
super surprising. Yeah.
One thing that's super surprising is there's 2 Darkness teams, and neither of them drafted Terra Delta Blastoise. That thing is
Bruh.
insane.
Oh,
That is
wait, yeah.
insane in Darkness.
But no Delta actually Delta Lantern didn't get drafted outside of Perfection. That's kind of surprising.
Yeah, I was the only one that
That's okay.
drafted them on because
I love
give it
that
a-
mod. Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's all of the like super surprising ones that
And, like-
didn't get drafted.
And like, even if we completely ignore deltas, which obviously you shouldn't, we're playing insurgents, pick the deltas. Even if we're just looking at normal mons, freaking Dio Speed, Meowscarada, Sneasler, Iron Moth, Speed Boost Blaziken, and
Dio Speed is-
DMI, all
Dio
got-
Speed is awful. Dio Speed is awful in this league because every team has like 6 ghosts or darks.
Even
I've been
if you-
trying to tell Egg that needs to be a 16-point mon for like 3 seasons, and
Although
we
even
have
if we really just like, even if we disregard the Dio Speed, that's still 5 really good top tier normal mons that aren't taken either.
Yeah, Sneasler should have 100% gone. Oh, Mega Spiritomb was one that I forgot to mention.
Oh
I
yeah,
guess
that
we're-
also didn't get taken.
Oh, we didn't
Yeah.
look at exclusive megas that aren't deltas at all. Actually, let's go look at some of those. Why don't we?
That didn't get drafted.
Oh, so I'm shocked.
Um,
Dang it, taken. That thing is so good.
There's not too many. There's Spiritomb, there's Bishop, which didn't get drafted, but that doesn't always.
I am actually
no
kind of
one took-
surprised by Abyssal not having Annihilate.
I'm very sad that no one drafted Chatot, because Chatot is such an easy one to use.
I
for
love Chatot. I'm also extremely sad that only one person in the entire league drafted Chatot.
Yeah.
And it wasn't you.
I
Unless
didn't
it
have
wasn't.
room for it.
And also, I find this really funny that this is the season after Necro had one of the worst seasons he's ever had in HBF, and all of the Necromons didn't get drafted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, other than the ones I drafted.
Yes.
There's no Mega Typhlosion, which I think is another one that it's really easy to look at if you're a new player.
Yeah, that's fair.
No Mega Delta
Um,
Blastoise is actually kind of surprising too.
Mm. And not really.
That one's not
That
super
doesn't get
surprising.
drafted very often.
Yeah, that's
Really?
not like it's kind of like a interesting sort of thing if it does.
Yeah. Anyway, this video is probably like 2 hours long. We need to wrap this up so
Yeah.
that we don't
Surprisingly,
have
I
to buy
think we're only at an hour and a half, maybe even less.
I had to say, actually, we're sub 2 hours.
That's
Yeah.
kind of an achievement for us, honestly.
Yeah.
We
It
usually
is.
lapped for way too long.
Especially
Yeah,
we
with
should wrap-
this.
We should wrap this up so we don't have to buy us a new computer to be able to render this.
True.
Yes. Okay.
It's fine. My computer's pretty good at this. Alrighty, thank you all for watching and/or coming out. Whatever time you choose to view this. These have been Abyssal PRs. Are we making more PRs? Good damn question. And with that,
Yeah.
I believe we are all done here. Have a good one,
Yeah,
y'all.
PP poo poo.